What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why I am getting Avowed. I believe the second game that I will be purchasing or obtaining in some way in 2025. And I gotta say, compared to the first game, which is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, by the way, I'm pretty excited for Avowed, but for kind of different reasons, and even my expectations and kind of just the way I'm thinking about this game is pretty different, and I think that helps it for a very busy month of February, right? You got a lot of games coming out in February. And, one thing that obviously stands out with Avowed is Game Pass, a huge, I would say, benefit, something that I'm eagerly anticipating for my wallet. I'm going to be spending a lot of money in February on these games anyway, so might as well offset it on a Game Pass game, when I can. But the game is, I think, proven, at least to me, that it's gotten better and better. Now, in terms of my expectations, they're not really all that high. And maybe that surprises you, maybe that doesn't. I think it actually puts in a pretty good spot for me because when I think about February, I think of some of the standout games. You can kind of see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I'd say coming in general. Like a Dragon, can't freaking wait for that one. Lost Records, very different kind of game. All these games are different. You got a couple big, lengthy ones, right? This game, Avowed, Kingdom Come, Like a Dragon, Monster Hunter, kind of an endless game, right? But each of them a little bit different in their own way. But Avowed, it's a game that doesn't super stand out for me, but it's always kind of been there. It's been a game that's always looked rock solid every time that I've seen it. It's a game that, I said a few seconds ago, right? It seemingly has improved every time. And now look, I think some of that's just with the eye test. You can look at some of the gameplay, even if it's snippets, even if it's combat snippets that we see nowadays, they look vastly better, okay, than what they did, back in the day. But even I would say from influencers and journalists and these kind of people, they were given multiple attempts at playing this game, right? Like Obsidian invited these people in time and time again. And, you kind of saw it in real time from these people. The first time, right, was, okay, the game seems to have potential. It's grabbing me in some ways, but the combat's not really standing out, or this thing's not standing out, or that thing. And then they come back again and they say, you know what? It actually looks like they made a lot of improvements in that gameplay department, right? So those kind of moments to me, and again, without my expectations being all that high, I'll tell you this, okay? I want a game that is kind of exactly like what Avowed is doing. It's not this ginormous, because if I want a gigantic open world game, I'll play some of the other games that are coming out that month, okay? They've talked about and stressed that the way they're doing this is kind of contain levels, right? That there is depth to them, there is exploration, there's all this stuff, but they're handcrafted and they are a little bit more contained to help with the other features of the game, to focus more on the gameplay, to focus more on the characters, to focus more on the narrative and the lore and things like that. That is why, you have to offset that. You can't have necessarily, or at least they can't, have a 100-hour game while also focusing on all of those key aspects of it, okay? To be honest, I don't care about the Pillars of Eternity crossover event happening here. I can respect it. I know, obviously it's got a huge fan base and a lot of deep lore, and I am a deep lore kind of guy. I just have never really gotten into it, okay? So I can respect that, but again, it's not really something that catches me or has caught me so far. So for this game, it's really a blank slate. It is impressed me to a degree with the gameplay. I gotta say, normally for these type of games, gameplay might not be the first thing on my checklist. It would probably be more like story, lore, characters, things like that. Now, that is very important, and I think you need to have a well-written, semi-open world game or whatever, okay? The characters have to be, interesting, side quests, main quests, etc. Otherwise, you're not gonna want to play it. Even if this game is 30 or so hours versus 80, you still might not want to play at those 30 if the game lacks that kind of creative depth, let's say, okay? However, I will say for a game like this, especially hearing that the combat has gotten better and better and kind of that impact, that strike kind of stuff, the gameplay has actually always caught me. The gameplay looks kind of rad. You can use swords, you can use guns, you can use magic, you can dual wield different stuff. I saw people that have said, I saw somebody that said they dual wielded wands. Both hands were like wands, so they were just freaking casting spells left and right, literally with their left and right hand. So, again, I gotta say, for a lot of these type of games, gameplay is probably not, because, generally they're fine, right? The gameplay of a lot of these games don't super stand out. They're serviceable. and they let the world kind of be the world, right? They let everything else kind of stand out if that's what's going to stand out. For a game like this, I would like the best of both worlds. I mean, if the combat wants to be something that's probably more than I'm expecting it to be, okay, well, now it's got me. Right now it's like, okay, minute to minute, I'm really excited about battling whoever, enemies, bosses, whatever it might be. And then, oh, the quests are really good, and all these characters and their side quests or their companion quests, whatever, oh, they're really good. And then while I'm fighting and while I'm playing, that's really good too. The art style of this game, it looks generally cool. I think I'm a little desensitized, with the art style. We've seen a lot of games that kind of look like it, but, again, I think it all comes back to expectations. For me, I'm not expecting the world of this game. I'm expecting just a good time. Again, when I think of like these long games, Kingdom Come, very long, and then like the next game I'd be getting is this, same day as Lost Records, but that's a little Life is Strange-esque type thing, so that's very different. Like a Dragon, I mean, like Yakuza games are Yakuza games, right? They're a beast all on their own, and they're very special to me. So, again, every game kind of has something a little bit different. I think Avowed can kind of, and again, that's what these videos are about, right? Like why I'm excited for it, or why I'm going to purchase in the first place. There's something with Avowed that's always kind of got me. It looks interesting. It doesn't look like a 10 out of 10. I don't think it's going to be my game of the year, but it looks like a good amount of fun to kind of enhance the month that I think is already going to be rather strong. And, I mentioned all of these games. I mean, there's different prices. Some of them are 60. I think some of them are 50. They're kind of all over the place. Avowed free, if you have Game Pass. And this is not a Game Pass freaking shill channel, but I will say, I mean, it is a good deal. I do have it, and you can bet your bottom dollar that when I get a game, or when I can get a game for free versus paying for it, I'm going to do it, especially in this economy and with my life the way that it is. So I'm going to take advantage, and I'm excited. I really am. I think this game is going to be a real solid game. So you let me know what you think. You let me know if you're getting the game. I will continue to cover this game. I'll have a review and lots of videos on it once it actually comes out, okay? Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next one.